Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jacob Ferguson, and today we will be covering RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16, Episode 6. Welcome to the Dollhouse. So, I have not a lot to say on this, actually. This was a pretty straightforward episode. The queens did not have to present two looks or a challenge. The challenge was a branding slash design challenge based on dolls. And while I think that is a good idea, a lot of these queens hit the mark straight on the head. I want to talk about that. We have 11 looks to go through today, and plus some workroom drama that I will get into. So sit back, relax, and let's start. So, first and foremost, a mandatory meeting is gone to begin with. I have a lot of problems with this. Not that Q doesn't deserve to be there, she does, but the problem is it's that Amanda and Plain had unfinished business. I think that Plain can still have a storyline in this, but it's never going to be fully resolved until she and Amanda get in the same room again. I feel bad for Amanda, but at the same time, she's gone now, so we can't really bring her back. Everybody's congratulating the four thick and stick queens on their win. Nymphia, Geneva, Mh'iya, and Megami all deserved to win. They all were great. And Tsunami is feeling some type of way because Q has basically said, "You're not allowed to feel the way that you feel." After she called her name out on the Who Should Go Home Tonight and why. And that's just weird, because this is a pivotal question that is asked. You are allowed to feel the way that you feel, Tsunami. So if Tsunami is mad, Tsunami is mad. She has more of a right to feel that way than Q did when she didn't win those past two challenges. Because Q was complaining about being in the top. So I saw a lot of people say that it's just blatant racism. That I don't necessarily think that is the full case, but I can see where they're coming from with that. It does scream a little bit of like, girl, she's allowed to feel the way that she feels. You shouldn't be gatekeeping her emotions. So they enter the workroom. Megami basically throws shade on Plain, saying, "Now that Amanda's gone, who else are you going to pick on?" And Dawn is being the little drama gremlin. Megami said she was the drama goblin, so Dawn is the little gremlin. And for today's mini challenge, they are tasked to do a like a Spanish flamenco dance. In season 8, they also did this mini challenge. Chi Devane won. It was during the second episode. But this time it included the guest of Charo. Now, my brother knows who Charo is. He watches this with us because she was in Thumbelina. But, you know, it's Charo. I like Charo. She's a good person. I love that more and more you're seeing her on Drag Race. She just needs to become a guest judge at this point. Speaking of which, the extra special guest judge this week was La Roche, or La Roche, rather. Sorry. And absolutely, I have a lot of thoughts about his judging coming on. And don't worry, it's not bad. As well as Tsunami winning the mini challenge, which was well deserved, I think. She, Geneva, and Megami did really well, so any one of them could have taken it. For today's maxi challenge, they are tasked to create dolls, as well as design an outfit for themselves to match the doll, and do a little branding challenge. Honestly, yeah, it's a good concept, but I don't know. It's a theme, so it is time to get into the workroom drama. So Plasma grabs a light blue fabric to work with, and as Plain is creating her outfit, she can't get it to like work very well. or she doesn't have a lot of it. I didn't really pay attention that much because Plain was talking. Which I'll get into Plain in a minute, but she ends up not even asking Plasma. She just steals some of the fabric, and then says, "I am limited by the amount of fabric I can use." So she just uses the same fabric as Plasma. And then Plasma, in the end, also gives some to Geneva because Geneva needed to start over as well. So three queens were using the exact same blue fabric. Sorry. Seashell, what are you doing? I don't know anymore. So, three queens decide to use the exact same fabric. Whatever. Obviously, this is all going to come back to bite them in the butt. Nymphia is going again with yellow, our original, but and Q is going for this look where she's doing like a neutral tone type look. There's a lot of workroom drama. We get some Q backstory about her not being able to afford food and having to go into her auditorium to just learn lines, and I feel really bad for her. And we also get some Plain Jane backstory. And honestly, I would feel really bad for Plain, but the thing is like, stories are stories. Backstories are backstories, obviously. Like, I'm not gonna say that what she's saying isn't true or anything like that. This all probably did happen to her. Her parents not really accepting it. Her dad rejecting the femininity coming out of his kid. But she uses that as an excuse to go, that's why I am a rotted hoe. This is why I am a rotted hoe. And it's like, you don't have to be like your parents. You can be your own person and reject their ideals. But you have chosen to just be mean for the sake of being mean. Even in the workroom after her whole entire thing, where she cried, she did all of that, she then goes on to say Saphira's in trouble and kind of read her down. Honestly, Plain is interesting, but not in the way that you might think. She's interesting to me in that I am wondering how she's going to kind of bounce back from Amanda in those first couple of episodes, because I genuinely, because she has been so like mean and all of that during the entirety of these episodes, I genuinely did not care about her backstory at all. Looking back at it today, I kind of feel bad. But it's like, at this point, you have presented yourself as a character that is just really not very nice. And now you're trying to garner sympathy. It's like, if she had said this in like the first episode, maybe this would be a different story. But like, coming at it now when Amanda is gone and when there's really no like, she can just be like, like, now I'm trying to be nice. It's like, if Amanda was still here, you guys could have had a conversation about it. And it would have been interesting to see that, you're a hurt person hurting people, and Amanda could relate to you or something like that. Instead, Amanda's now gone, and now you're going to be like, I am hurt, all of that sort of stuff. It's like, well, that's cool, but the person that you were antagonizing is already gone. You already won. So now you're just trying to create a storyline for yourself when there's really nothing there. Like, now nobody's going to be like, poor Plain. It's like, like, she kind of lost me. Going on to the runway time. Category is Welcome to the Dollhouse. We have 11 looks to go through. They're either going to go to cream or a crunch, obviously. I'm going to start with the winners, obviously make my way down to the bottom of the barrel, and then do the middle ground. Up first is the winner, Q. I don't really care a lot about the dolls. I will only mention them if need be, but her outfit looked really, really good. It was really well made. The headpiece was well made. The bodysuit was well made. Her doll matched. I mean, all that. I do wish that the plus size queens had gotten plus size dolls, so that way they could have tailor made their outfits more. But I really did enjoy this look for Q. She looked really pretty. Again, she knows how to sew. She knows what looks good on her body, and this was another design challenge. This was her chance to show who she was. I think it was the technically the best look on the runway tonight. Next is Dawn. I hate that Michelle gave her that critique last week, because how are you going to say alien when you don't necessarily look like an alien? This would have been the time to do green skin, blue skin, purple skin, something like that, to really be an alien, like be, or maybe even a lighter gray, the outfit is really good. I really enjoy it. Her dress looked really nice. The purple piece, I thought it was kind of blue. It read blue underneath the light. Looked nice. The gloves looked nice. But again, I hate that Michelle gave her that critique, because now, in a challenge where she should have just been herself, she's now like, I'm just plain old skin toned. And the makeup reads Dawn, but that's about it. Like, I really wish that she had gone with like a different color skin tone or something like that, and then later down the line do whatever she needs to do. But I really enjoyed her look tonight. It was really good. It's a cream. The other one was a cream as well. Next up, let's go to Plain Jane. I do think that she was the only one that I would have switched out for somebody else. But her look was not bad. It was safe to me. Her narration mentioned her horrendous burger finger. I almost said Butterfinger because obviously Bart Simpson. She just, and then like her narration also mentioned Russia, which she's from, but like Russia, and it's okay. Make it make sense. You're aquatic, but now you're mentioning your burger finger, as well as your Russian heritage. I'm like, make it make sense. If it's aquatic, go full aquatic. But this look was a cream. Narration wise, it was a crunch, obviously, but I'm not gonna give the narrations creams or crunches. I like that Law liked it, and it looked really nice on her. It was tailor made, and it was blue fabric, and it was probably the best use of the blue fabric. So it's a cream. I do wish that she was not in the top three, though. I'm gonna start doing the safe queens now, and then we'll get to the bottom. Next up is Megami, for me at least. Megami should have been in the top three. I'm not saying she should have won, but I do think that this look for Megami was well executed. I liked the sequins on her. I liked that it was referencing New York. I liked that it was Statue of Liberty-esque. She had the New Eurekan sort of talk today in the yesterday in the workroom. She looked really good in this. I would have put it in the top three. I feel like Megami is gonna not be here for that much longer, or is gonna start picking up steam, and I hope that it's the latter, because Megami's growing on me. Next up is Nymphia Wind. Look, I am so tired of the bananas, it is not even funny. I love Nymphia, she is my pick to win after all. But I just don't like that has referenced bananas every single week that she's been on this show. The yellow looks good. She looks good. Honestly, it was not a serve for me. This was a cream, but it just, after winning the ball, I expected a little bit more. I mean, this look was amazing. But I do feel as though that she was just safe. Um, it's a cream. She did fine. That was 5 out of the 11 queens. So now here's sort of the safe and then the bottom 4. Or the bottom 5. Tsunami Muse. So I have to do something really fast. Tsunami Muse's look was actually really nice. I had to look it up because honestly, the safe queens were just safe for me at least. It was a good look. I liked the way it was styled. It had she had the I think it was pink and then like the blue pant women. Yep, it was the pink top, the blue in the gloves. I just had to relook it up because obviously it was safe. It was safe. I love Tsunami. It was safe. Her look was not anything to necessarily gag over, but it was a good look. It's a cream. Next is Morphine Love Dion. She kind of had like a Donatella Versace, J-Lo inspired look almost. It was okay. I didn't like that she went with the blacked out tooth. I also hate the critique that Michelle gave her last week because it really hindered her this week. In a challenge all about personal branding and style, having a BBL, you could have used that to your advantage. But because Michelle was like, you're so much more than that last week, and now she's like, well, I don't want to do it if it's going to be that bad. It threw off her completely to the point where I do think that she was placed as safe because it really didn't scream Morphine Love Dion. Morphine, to me, I feel conflicted about. I really want her to do well. She's one of those queens that has been constantly just good. But I do hope we get a lot more from her. And I hope that we get to see her win a challenge someday. Next, it's a cream for me, though it wasn't the best. Next, Sapphira Cristál is next, and the reason that I put her here at the bottom of the safe is because her look was not technically impressive. It was a plain dress. Do I still think that she would have been in the bottom? I think that she would have been low, if not for what happened on the runway. So I don't necessarily think that this was her best. It's a crunch, obviously. Her doll almost looked nothing like her. Her doll had this big wig, and it was really just okay. It kind of looked like a mess, to be honest. And then Sapphira comes out in this really nice wig. I'm like, you couldn't have matched the wig up better. She was also going to make an opera coat, but just ran out of time. And, yeah, it was not one of my favorites. It's a crunch. Next up is Plasma. Technically, this is amazing. I like her look. Her branding of it, and her, trying to fix the hood every single time it fell down was not it. Do I necessarily think that she should have been the bottom? No, she probably would have just been safe in my eyes. But it's a cream, but at what cost? Like, I do think that it was technically amazing, or good, not amazing. It was alright. But I don't necessarily think that it was the best that she could do. So it's going to be a cream, but it's going to be light cream. Next up is, let's talk about Geneva Carr. This look was okay. It's a crunch. It is a crunch for me, dog, today. Only because it was just sort of boring. And this is where I'm going to bring in the doll sort of aspect to it. There was so much that she could have done involving cars, involving, driving a car or being a vroom vroom car. And she didn't. She instead went with, like, everything's better in Texas, but I'm petite. And it's like, why? Why would you do that? There's no point. Just be yourself. Do your vroom vroom car stick. We've kind of seen it before, but not to a full extent. You could have just done that. Make like a little racing outfit. A racing outfit would have been great for her. Instead of trying to do a high fashion look, do Penelope Pit Stop. You know? This was a miss. It's a crunch. And the final one is Mh'iya Iman LePage. This was the worst outfit on the main stage. I'm going to just be completely honest here. The dolls did not match in the slightest. Also, Mh'iya did not do any flips or anything like that. It was... Mh'iya, to me, last week she was amazing. But now she has gone back to her original sort of thing, where it's like, I am quiet, I am not here, I am silent as a dormouse, deal with it. Because she really didn't have a lot of screen time this week. I feel really bad for her, but at the same time, this look was not good. And every single design challenge, she has been lower in the bottom. So, she had the worst. It was a crunch. Now let's move on to the judging. The judges went in on them yesterday, didn't they? Like, it was like, God. Especially Law, but I love when Law kind of comes for the girls. But, like, they were like, yeah, it's bad, you're fat, you're ugly, I hate it, you're trash, all of that sort of stuff. And like, even the other judges, like, not even just Law, but it was like, Ru going, yeah, I hated it, it wasn't that good. I'm like, Jesus, okay, Ru, calm down, like, I'm sorry. But it was kind of fun, and I wish that T.S. Madison and Law Roche were, permanent judges. Especially Law. I think that he could do what Carson Kressley does, but with a modern eye. Because let's face it, Carson Kressley is a lot of things, but he's not really that modern. I think that LaRoche really would give the girls constructive criticism, but also read them to filth. And I miss that on the judges panel. I miss the ferocity of the guest judges being like, yeah, but that was kind of bad. I think that the last person that really was like that besides LaRoche was Cheryl Lee Ralph, season 6. Also, I mean, there's been a couple of more, like, Tamar and Fortune Feimster and Cheyenne Jackson. Whenever these guest judges get to act in the challenge with the queens, it's always great. Tiffany and Joel McHale. LaRoche is one of my favorite guest judges now. They should bring him back for every season. And if they're not doing anything, give them a job. I don't know. So we find out that the winner was Q. That's great. I'm glad that she got her first win. Maybe now she'll stop whining that she was in the top, because now she has a win. In the bottom two this week, we have Mh'iya and Geneva. I think both were warranted. Also, Sapphira decides to use her immunity potion, so that way she could be safe. I think that was a great idea. They lip sync to Control by Janet Jackson. Now, this lip sync was really good. I wish that they had done more of Control in this, and not just the little spoken word parts, but that's just me. The thing about Mh'iya was that I really couldn't see her face. She was doing like the back flips and the dips and the splits and all that sort of stuff that I expected when she was announced in the bottom two. And it was not disappointing in the slightest. I loved it. But I feel as though they did not show her knowing the words. There was like a couple of things where she had like her mouth, but I think this was one of those cases like with Georges, where it was like, she's doing all these amazing things, so that's why she's winning. Geneva knew the words, but let's be honest here. If I was up against Mh'iya, I'd be out. Like, Mh'iya is going to be a hard person to defeat because she is constantly going to be doing the splits, the dips, the kicks, the tricks. And that's going to get annoying after a while if she lands in the bottom two again, which undoubtedly she will. Let's be honest here. I don't really think that Mh'iya is going to win. I love Mh'iya. Don't necessarily think that she's going to win the season. So now we move on to my top four. Oh, and well, before we do that, Geneva Carr sachets away this episode. I think it was her time. It is a little bit sad to see her go, but hey, I really enjoyed her on this season. She's a shoo-in for Miss Congeniality for me. She's great. My top four are Dawn, Nymphia, and Saphira. And I'm going to have to say plain only because it feels as though that is what it's going to be. I also think that Q is probably a shoo-in for the top four at this point. Queens who I can see going soon, Mh'iya and Megami. I really don't want Megami to go home, but let's face it, they might send her home next week. Next week's a Rusical. I'm dying for Snatch Game at this point. Please give us Snatch Game soon. I want to talk about it. I want to see. I really would want to see who like Megami is gonna play and all that sort of stuff. So that's that. I've been Jacob Ferguson. Who do you guys want to win? Leave your comments down below. Bye.